"Avenant!" screeched he, though not in the sweetest voice in the world, "you have generously succoured me, a poor miserable raven. I'm not ungrateful, and I will recompense you one day." "Thank you," said Avenant, and continued his road. Entering in a thick wood so dark with the shadows of early morning that he could scarcely find his way, he heard an owl hooting, as if in great tribulation. She had been caught by the nets spread by bird catchers to entrap finches, larks, and other small birds. "What a pity," thought Avenant, "that men must always torment poor birds and beasts who have done them no harm." So he took out his knife and cut the net, and let the owl go free. She went sailing up into the air, but immediately returned, hovering over his head on her brown wings. "Avenant," she said, "at daylight the bird catchers would have been here, and I should have been caught and killed. I have a grateful heart. I will recompense you one day." These were the three principal adventures that befell Avenant on his way to the kingdom of the Fair One with Golden Locks. Arrived there, he dressed himself with the greatest care, in a habit of silver brocade, and a hat adorned with plumes and scarlet and white. He threw over all a rich mantle, and carried a little basket, in which was a lovely little dog, an offering of respect to the princess. With this he presented himself at the palace gates, where, even though he came alone, his mien was so dignified and graceful, so altogether charming, that every one did him reverence, and was eager to run and tell the Fair One with Golden Locks that Avenant, another ambassador from the king, her suitor, awaited audience. "Avenant!" repeated the princess. "That is a pretty name. Perhaps the youth is pretty too." "So beautiful," said the ladies of honour, "that while he stood under the palace window we could do nothing but look at him." "How silly of you!" sharply said the princess. But she desired them to bring her robe of blue satin, to comb out her long hair, and adorn it with the freshest garlands of flowers, to give her high heeled shoes, and her fan. "Also," added she, "take care that my audience chamber is well swept, and my throne well dusted. I wish in everything to appear as becomes the Fair One with Golden Locks." This done, she seated herself on her throne of ivory and ebony, and gave orders for her musicians to play, but softly, so as not to disturb conversation. Thus, shining in all her beauty, she admitted Avenant to her presence. He was so dazzled that at first he could not speak. Then he began, and delivered his harangue to perfection. "Gentle Avenant," returned the princess, after listening to all his reasons for returning with him, "your arguments are very strong, and I am inclined to listen to them. But you must first find for me a ring which I dropped into the river about a month ago. Until I recover it, I can listen to no propositions of marriage." Avenant, surprised and disturbed, made her a profound reverence, and retired, taking with him the basket and the little dog Cabriole, which she refused to accept. All night long he sat sighing to himself, "How can I ever find a ring which she dropped into the river a month ago? She has set me an impossibility." "My dear master," said Cabriole, "nothing is an impossibility to one so young and charming as you are. Let us go at daybreak to the river side." Avenant patted him, but replied nothing, until, worn out with grief, he slept. Before dawn Cabriole wakened him, saying, "Master, dress yourself, and let us go down to the river." There Avenant walked up and down, with his arms folded and his head bent, but saw nothing. At last he heard a voice calling from a distance, "Avenant, Avenant!" The little dog ran to the waterside. "Never believe me again, master, if it is not a golden carp with a ring in its mouth." "Yes, Avenant," said the carp, "this is the ring which the princess has lost. You saved my life in the willow meadow, and I have recompensed you. Farewell." Avenant took the ring gratefully and returned to the palace with Cabriole, who scampered about in great glee. Craving an audience, he presented the princess with her ring, and begged her to accompany him to his master's kingdom. She took the ring, looked at it, and she was surely dreaming. "Some fairy must have assisted you, fortunate Avenant," said she. "Madame, I am fortunate only in my desire to obey your wishes." "Obey me still," she said graciously. "There is a prince named Galifron, whose suit I have refused. He is a giant as tall as a tower, who eats a man as a monkey eats a nut. He puts cannons in his pockets instead of pistols, and when he speaks his voice is so loud that everyone near him becomes deaf. Go and fight him, and bring me his head." Avenant was thunderstruck, but after a time he recovered himself. "Very well, madam, I shall certainly perish, but I will perish like a brave man. I will depart at once to fight the giant Galifron." The princess, now in her turn surprised and alarmed, tried every persuasion to induce him not to go, but in vain. Avenant armed himself and started, carrying his little dog in its basket. Cabriole was the only creature that gave him consolation. "Courage, master! While you attack the giant, I will bite his legs. He will stoop down to strike me, and then you can knock him on the head." Avenant smiled at the little dog's spirit, but he knew it was useless. Arrived at the castle of Galifron, he found the road all strewn with bones and carcasses of men. Soon he saw the giant walking. His head was level with the highest trees, and he sang in a terrific voice, "Bring me babies to devour, more, 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 more. Men and women tender and tough, all the world holds not enough." To which Avenant replied, imitating the tune, "Avenant, you here may see, he is come to punish thee. He be tender, he be tough, to kill the giant he's enough." Hearing these words, the giant took up his massive club, looked around for the singer, and perceiving him would have slain him on the spot, had not a raven, sitting on a tree close by, suddenly flown down upon him and picked out both his eyes. Then Avenant easily killed him, and cut off his head, while the raven, watching him, said, "You shoot an eagle who was pursuing me. I promised to recompense you, and today I have done it. We are quits." "No, it is I who am your debtor, Sir Raven," replied Avenant as, hanging the frightful head to his saddle bow, he mounted his horse and rode back to the city of the Fair One with Golden Locks. There everybody followed him, shouting, "Here is brave Avenant, who has killed the giant," until the princess, hearing the noise, and fearing it was Avenant himself who was killed, appeared, all trembling, and even when he appeared with Galifron's head, she trembled still, although she had nothing to fear. "Madam," said Avenant, "your enemy is dead, so I trust you will accept the hand of the king my master." "I cannot," replied she, thoughtfully, "unless you first bring me a vial of the water of the Grotto of Darkness." It is 6 leagues in length.